Welcome to the English.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to the English Waffle, a podcast for learners of English to help you improve your listening skills by listening to real conversations. On this podcast, I talk about different topics with my co-host, Mike. We give tips to learners about how to use grammar, particularly with regard to spoken English. We have fun, we interview guests, and sometimes we play some music. The idea is that regular listening can be beneficial to your English long term. But also, if you want dedicated English lessons to accompany your listening practice, you could consider trying out a one-to-one lesson with English Waffle. To find out more about this and also discover the quizzes and transcripts that accompany this podcast, go to englishwaffle.co.uk/create an account to find out more. This podcast is free for you, our listeners, and that's made possible by donations from you. You can make a donation, however small, by visiting buymeacoffee.com/English Waffle.
English listening.
Okay, so welcome to the first of a mini-series in which we go around the UK and we talk to people from different regions in the UK, each of them having their own regional accent. So today we have a very special guest, Lisa. Hello, Lisa.
Hello.
So Lisa, can you tell us where you're from without telling us the name of the city or the name of the region? Can you tell us something about the region you're from?
Okay, I will try. Well, it's a northern city. It's quite a big city, very vibrant. It has two massive football teams. It's famous for having two beautiful cathedrals. Lots of famous musicians have come from this city. It's a very popular destination for hen do's, if you understand what they are, and stag do's. It's a party city. Lots to do.
Okay, thanks Lisa. That's lots of clues there for our listeners to guess what is the city that Lisa is from. So we're going to begin with asking each guest a series of questions. Have you ever, okay, the structure is have you ever done something? And that way I'm going to get to know each of my guests a bit better, and you guys can hopefully learn some new vocabulary in the process. So Lisa, my first question is, have you ever sent back a meal at a restaurant?
No, I've never sent food back at a restaurant because I would be far too worried that somebody may tamper with the food. I think probably the chef would get a little bit offended if you returned a meal and they may do something nasty to it. So I would rather just eat the food and just avoid the restaurant again.
Okay, so you've never ever sent back a meal at a restaurant. Wow.
I can't remember ever doing that. Usually I will complain to my friends and say, well, this isn't very good, or it's a bit too cold, or it's a bit too hot. And then the waiter or waitress will come back and say, how was your food? And I'll say, oh, it's great, thank you.
So you lie. How very British.
It's very British, yes, you're right.
Okay, question number 2. Have you ever hitchhiked? Which is, let me explain what hitchhiked is. Hitchhiking is catching a ride with a stranger to get from one place to another.
Okay, so no, I personally have never hitchhiked. I would be a little bit too frightened to get into a car with a stranger. Although there's lots of nice people around, you've got to be really, really careful. we have picked hitchhikers up in a car. I was with a friend and we were traveling to Newcastle, and it was quite a long drive. And we picked up a couple of hitchhikers, and it was a pleasant experience. They were very nice, they were very friendly. We had a good chat. And yeah, that was a positive experience. But no, I'm not going to go hitchhiking anytime soon.
Very good. And question number 3. Have you ever got locked out of your own house before?
I think I have, yes. I can't remember what happened to my keys, but I'm always doing silly things, misplacing things, losing my phone, losing my keys. I probably left my keys around somebody's house and got home, and then I wasn't able to get in, and I've not had my phone with me, and I don't know, I've probably ended up going to sleep on a friend's sofa or something until I could get my keys back. But yeah, I have done that on more than one occasion, I think.
You're along with lots of other people. I think lots of people can relate to that.
Yes.
Question number 4. Have you ever re-gifted a gift? In other words, sent a gift on that you've received. Have you ever given that gift to somebody else?
Yes, I have. But I've not been devious enough to rewrap it and pretend I've gone and bought it especially for that person. I've usually just given it to somebody and said, this isn't right for me, it's not my colour, or I don't like these biscuits because I'm trying to be healthy, or I don't like these chocolates. I've literally just given it to somebody and just I have re-gifted things. I think it's better than wasting things. It's nice to sort of pass things on if you're not going to use them or eat them yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And the final question, I won't judge you if you have or if you haven't, but have you ever ruined or lost an item of clothing that you've borrowed from a friend?
I don't think I have, but I've been very upset when I've lent some clothes to somebody else and I've got them back and there's been a hole in them, or they've not washed them before they've returned them, or that's happened to me a few times. Once I lent my favourite dress in the whole world to a friend, and I didn't get it back for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then when it was returned to me, she'd put it through the wash and it had shrunk and become very, very small, and I was never able to wear it again.
Are you still friends with that person?
I forgave her.
That's good.
I did sort of tell her off a little bit, but yeah, I forgave her in the end.
That's good. And finally, thank you for being game and playing with us on this game. If you had 6 more hours in the day, 6 more hours in a single day, how would you spend those 6 hours?
That's a really tough question. I would try to squeeze in all the things that I never get around to doing ordinarily. So all the times when I say, right, I must phone my friend back later, or I must reply to that email, or I must write a letter to somebody, I just spend more time keeping in touch with people. I probably need to pick up some interesting hobbies as well. So I'd maybe go and do a dance class because I like to dance. I'm only doing one dance class at the moment because there aren't enough hours in the week, let alone in the day. But I would probably do something useful with my time, get fit and healthy, and stay connected.
Spending more time with friends and dancing, I think that's a wonderful way to imagine a longer day.
Yeah, definitely. Much more fun than work. I definitely wouldn't want to work any more hours than I do already.
No. Thank you very much, Lisa, for being our first guest on this mini series. And I hope to come back on the podcast soon and tell us about your dancing and about anything else you want to tell us about, and about the city, which
Thank you very much. It was fun. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to the English.
Okay, how was that? Did you recognise from Lisa's accent where she's from? Or perhaps the description of the city? Could you work out where in the UK she was from? We'll be back next week with another guest from somewhere else in the UK. But if you want to look at the transcript of this conversation, so the written words from this conversation to check your understanding, you can do so by going to the English Waffle website, and for the price of a cup of coffee, that's about £2, you can download the transcript. There's also a quiz on this episode to check your understanding, so visit the website for that. And we will be back next week with a new guest. Please tell your friends about this podcast if you liked it, if you enjoyed listening to it. We want to build a community of English Waffle listeners from around the world. So that's it for this week. Have a good week and happy waffling.
Welcome to the English Waffle, where we'll talk about random stuff. We'll take you on a journey where you'll find out soon enough that listening to the waffle is an entertaining way of sharing with you foreigners the things that British people say. Woo! So join us on the waffle and strap yourselves in for 10 whole earthly minutes of English listening.